Well, hello everybody. Just getting a chance here. I did this after listening to Mary being live with her uh, Monday live session that she does with some of her um, Avon group. She has a page that she does so that they do. She can show specials and things and does giveaways and all that stuff. So go over and check out her page or her to find out more about that. I think it's Beauty Boss, something like that. I need to remember that stuff. I'm terrible at keeping track of everything that goes on like that. Um, Here, let's change that. Nope, I didn't want to change that. Okay, so let's just jump into this thing before I start rambling too much and worrying about things I don't need to worry about. Just just a couple of things to outline. I wanted to do at least at the beginning here. I'm going to run through the forecast. Typically, I try to run through the analysis first, and then I go through the forecast. But I don't know how many people want to listen to the whole thing, and I've been trying to cut my time down. But I see my last one was almost an hour. It was like 53 minutes or something like that. So, just a real quick thing going on here. I see that the office is has a winter storm watch out. A lot of this has to do with freezing rain. I just got done working about what was it, 9 in a row, 9 shifts in a row here over the past, well, yeah, almost 9 days. The last one was a night shift. I won't go through the whole thing, but so I just finished up at 5 o'clock this morning. I took a few hours nap, and now I've been up since then, heavily taking caffeine so that I can stay awake until about 10 o'clock when I start to feel tired, and then my body will try to wake me up in the middle of the night. So that's what goes on with these rotating shifts. But I saw this coming for the last couple of days, so I have a little bit of insight going into with what the models were saying and what we're expecting. So, just going through some of our products that we have on our website, I figured I would just comment and kind of lead people through it. So, if you're ever on the office website for Northern Lower Michigan, this is it, NWS Gaylord Office. We're at weather.gov/APX or /Gaylord. Either one will get you to this page. And we have a couple things that we have on here. We have the point and click map right here in the middle. And wherever you click on that, you will get a forecast for that particular point. I think I have made that clear in other ones, and so I'm not going to go on to it too terribly long here. You can see that they've issued a winter storm watch for the entire forecast area that we are, because it's everything in the dark blue. Um, so I guess there is some concern that we will get, I guess, because it's be a sloppy mess. My own opinion the other night was that we would, last night was that it would be more of an advisory event. And so we didn't need to issue a watch out that far yet, but they issued one for today. So that, I mean, nothing wrong. Things have changed probably in the models. So that's the thing to keep in mind. The top news story of the day, it's just one big one, which is the freezing rain expected to begin tonight, Tuesday night. Um, or I'm sorry, today is Monday. See, I'm so confused right now. It's expected for Tuesday night. So I might do another one of these tomorrow morning. We'll see how I feel at the time. The event's going to start with snowfall. Overnight, it'll turn to freezing rain. After the icing event, uh, Wednesday morning, it will change to just plain rain, and accompanied with strong winds. So if it's anything like the last one, we ended up with a lot of ice in the trees and on some of the power lines, but we didn't end up with a lot on the road surfaces. So just to bear that in mind. Winds and ice don't mix very well, especially as the trees and the power lines get weighed down with all the ice, and the wind sometimes can play havoc with the power. So we'll just see how that goes. It didn't sound like it was too terrible. There were some places that did have power outages, though. So sorry if you were affected by that. Anyway, so this is the basic part of it. I've got everything kind of broken up into tabs. In our weather story graphic, we have our tonight or Tuesday night through Thursday evening outlook. So the forecast has some decently heavy rain. It looks like over that Tuesday night rainfall forecast, we have an inch to an inch and a half. Ice accumulation by Wednesday morning looks like it would be anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch down in the southwest corner. So basically, from a Charlevoix to Mayo to Standish sort of a line, and then anywhere west of that, we're looking for a tenth to a quarter inch. So probably just most places should be below a quarter inch. If it's over a quarter inch, that's considered an ice storm warning. But right now we're in the advisory level, which is a tenth of an inch or more. Sometimes we'll do it for a little bit less than that, but because in case it's going to be on roads. In this lighter yellow, then it looks like it's a hundredth to a tenth, so not as impactful. Usually, you don't get much if any damage when the winds are or when the ice is at less. So they decided to put a watch out for the entire area, probably because there is some unknowns, uncertainties in there. You can see a few areas up in these in the yellow that are actually orange. So there are some places that could get a little bit more that are up in some of these places as well. And then here's the winds. They don't have any samples on, but it looks like winds are running somewhere 25 to about 35 miles an hour. There might be a couple of 40 gusts in there. So not super strong when we have to issue like a winter weather advice or a wind advisory of some sort, but something to keep in mind. But for tonight's forecast, which is the least of the importance, it's just clear skies. Temperatures will get quite cold though. I mean, 5 above here in Gaylord, 2 above in Mayo, which means a lot of these areas where we're seeing some of these single digits, there are locations, especially as the winds drop off here tonight, which is what they are expected to do. You'll see temperatures go negative in some of this area. You can see that on the map itself, it's trying to get put negative around Grayling. That's a typical cool spot. Sometimes Pelston's got a 0 in its sample, so it's there. So give or take at least 5 degrees, sometimes 10. It just depends in the area. I know just west of the office along Mansalona Road, as you head towards Mansalona, that you drop into that valley there by Lake Tecon, and that gets pretty chilly. I've seen that show up 10 to 15 degrees colder than what it is at the office. So I know there are people sometimes who complain that we don't get the forecast right. Well, for their house, maybe not, but for the general area, it usually is pretty decent. So anyways, that's just kind of what goes on. One of the features that I showed you on the front, there is this link here. It says freezing rain expected Tuesday evening through Wednesday morning. Click to view the briefing. So we're going to go to that briefing. It's called our IDSS packet, or DSS packet, Decision Support Services packet. We typically email this out to a lot of the emergency managers and other people who have big concerns with various weather. So we email that out. But for the general public, you can just get to it by going to our webpage. We don't always share this on our Facebook page. Usually the graphics are usually enough to keep the general public informed with this. This is for some more higher end things. But again, it's pretty much the same sort of ice graphic that we've seen. Freezing rain expected across northern Michigan. We are looking at freezing rain chances, which changes over to rain and continue, and then that rain continues into Wednesday afternoon. So we may not get the ice could be off of all the trees and any place that it has accumulated by the late afternoon, early evening. In fact, the evening temperature should continue to rise above freezing for the next day. The freezing rain, here's some of the timing. So the hazards are freezing rain. There is going to be some snow mixed in with this during the event, and then it's going to change over to all rain. All of northern lower and eastern upper Michigan, but the main concern is northern lower Michigan with the ice. It looks like it should be, most of that should be, the heaviest stuff should be down in northern lower Michigan. Initial freezing rain will begin Tuesday evening. Yeah, it may come in as some snow at first, and then things may cool or warm, cool just enough so that suddenly we get the snow changing over back to rain when the temperatures are still below freezing at the surface. And that'll last through at least Wednesday morning, sometime, probably no later than about 10 o'clock in the morning. But, it wouldn't be surprising if some of it ended earlier. It'll depend on how soon that warm air gets at the surface comes in. Second batch is possible again after sunset. Mm, oh yeah, mainly across the Upper Peninsula. Heavy rain is expected throughout the rest of the day on Wednesday. So that's just that is a concern. It depends. There are some technical reasons why that could be possible. I'm not always a big fan of some of the way that the forecast comes out, but that's another story. Highest wind gusts, at least for Tuesday night, we are looking at winds. The highest winds here will be in the Upper Peninsula and then along most of northwest lower Michigan, with winds getting into the looks like 25 to 30 range. But Wednesday's the day that most of the winds are really going to gust, and so we're looking at the Upper Peninsula getting into the 35 to 40 range. There's a few spots along that ridge that runs from northwestern Otsego County, southeastern Boyne Falls, or southeastern Charlevoix County near Boyne Falls, basically. You run up Thumb Lake Road, you run up that ridge. And then down along goes almost over here to Kalkaska. That's an area of concern, and we can get higher winds along the ridges like that as well. So that's what our wind gusts in. Are you ready for ice storms? And so then it also has typically some sort of call to action and definitions or whatever we decide to add on to the last part. The first three pages are the main concern for people. So that leads us to the weather map. And all right, so we will start at the 1,000 millibar level, and let's see where. Okay, it looks like it goes up around here. Oh, might have to clean up some of this here in a second. Okay, let's do a little bit. Let's erase this a bit. Let's clean that up. Oh, that's actually not too terrible. Let's see. This can probably be a little flatter, and maybe that's not so far out. Okay, so, and then this one. All right, so here we go. So now we'll go to 10:04, and it's because otherwise I would be going crazy with the amount of isobars that are be packing around this. Oh, that's 10:14 way out there. Oh, that's 10:07. Okay, back up. Come on. All right, 10:04. Oh, yeah, that's where. Oh, interesting. 10:04, 10:04, 10:04. There we go. 04, 04, 00. All right, so there's another 10:04 in here. And then 08. Oh. Oh, you can tell it's been after a midnight shift. I am just so Okay. Nope. That's probably right. Let's see here. The 1008's in the right spot. There. Oh, 04. So there's a little mini high pressure. You can kind of see the wind changes in there. So there's something trying to circulate in that general area. Okay, let's go to the 08 up here. So 08. Oh. Oh, well, the 08 is in there somewhere. It ends somewhere in that general area because then there's an 02. Yeah, so okay, that's right. Okay, 12. 16. 20. The only thing that I can't do while I'm drawing on my tablet like this in this current configuration is I can't point things out with the cursor on my computer. I could actually, if I were showing all this from my computer through my and analyzing it on my tablet, then I could use the cursor then to show the relevant features. When I am just broadcasting the actual tablet, the analysis straight from there, I can't do that. That's a little bit harder. I have to circle things and then erase them. So um, it's a couple steps that I haven't mastered in that, and I have to figure out why that other process wouldn't work this time. I've run into that in the past. There's a 24. Yeah, we have the high pressure sitting over us. Looks like the high's right about, let's change colors. The high's probably about in here-ish. Oh, it'd be helpful if I had the comments up. Although I can't quite pay attention to this while I'm doing all this. Let's see here. I'm going to change the colors to red. Looks like the low and the circulation's about in here. So you got 996.7, and these are 998s. There's a 997. So this is probably the low in this general area here. Looks like we've got a couple of troughs. Got a cold fronts that are trying to get going here. I need to finish the rest of the analysis of the isobars here in a bit, but we will do something like this. This is rather tricky because this system is still kind of getting its act together. It seems like, whoops, no, don't want to do that. This is what we want. We're going to do a trough here, and then there's this other little low, and you can probably say that these are connected by the trough. And then we've got some sort of high down in this general area. The 1009, 1010 looks about right. Let's see here. Now we go back downwards. So 16. Yeah, okay, good, good. And then 12. All right. Well, that's kind of the long and short of it. 10-4. Okay. So this is a 1006. There's an 06 line up here. Okay, so this is our system. It's kind of a mess right now, but this is basically where a lot of this is going to come out of. Oops, what did I just do? Oh, I changed colors for the wrong pencil size. This one, I want to do this. Okay. Yep. You can see we've got a bit of a temperature change there across the fronts. Now, what the process is, and let me, I will do this here again, and we will, now that we have seen what everything looks like, I am going to do a quick, we'll go through WPC's stuff here real quick. Let's see, done. Oh. Okay. Turn that one off. Stop broadcasting my tablet. All right, and we are going to shift over to the WPC page. Since they kind of make the map analysis, and we can look at their surface front. So there's the high over us. This one was taken at 21Z. It is currently, okay, so I did basically a 0Z analysis because that's 8 o'clock in the evening now in Central Time, or not Central Time, Daylight Savings Time. There is the front down the part of it, and then it goes off the map. The high pressure system that's over the Great Lakes, and then it goes and there's that other low there. There's some other more areas. There's that secondary low. There's the main low up here. Oh, look, I got the basic shape of everything all nice and tidy. I am very happy with what I just did without looking at this one beforehand, which I should have done. I typically do, but so looking at the front forecasts. So 21Z. So at 2 a.m., this is what we should be doing. The high is going to start to move off to our east over time. By tomorrow morning, we'll have all this. You can still see that the low pressure is stuck out here in the just getting into the northern plains and starting to get out from the lee of the Rockies where it formed. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it looks like that the southern part, let's go look at that again. The southern part of that low is actually getting its act together. It's going to become the dominant one. And then as it starts to increase, and then that's when the precipitation starts to increase across the area. So now we're looking at, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. This is 8 o'clock. So as the rain starts coming in here, and we're going to be still with a lot of cold air in our area, and then very dry air. I think I mentioned on a previous one that when you get high pressure sitting over here, especially if you get high pressure, especially if you get high pressure up here in the Hudson Bay or James Bay, that tends to be a very dry flow for us. So it impedes the speed at which this precipitation can move in. And the models sometimes have trouble catching on to that at first. They might be a little bit better now, but for the most part, then we've got these things going into a mix, purple. The lighter purple is a chance, and the stuff that goes to a fuchsia or maroon, that's for those people who called me out on not calling out the proper shades in one of my previous videos. We do have, it's more likely. You can see there's a little bit of blue in there, and when you've got blue like that, that means there's a chance for some snow. So they're going to have some snow chances on the front end, like what I was saying. So then by 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, we are going to be in a ice, likely ice, darker orange here. Up in our area, have some sort of mix over Lake Huron, which is possible. And then, of course, over Lake Michigan, we're looking at probably something that's a little bit more the warmer air coming in. You can see it's going to take a bit of time, so that But by 8 o'clock at night, we are looking at rain being all the way up into or eastern upper Michigan, as well as crossed over northern lower. Like I said earlier, it's the idea that I was seeing on the computer models was that everything would change sometime after by 10 o'clock across most of it. We should be above freezing. That warm air. Let me get back to that. That warm air, as it's trying to move up in here, you can just barely see that it's just at 8 o'clock getting into like Manistee, Ludington area. And Manistee is our southwest corner, the city in our southwest corner of the forecast area. Let's see here. Go back to this. Yeah, so Manistee, so it's going to get in there right around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then it's progressively going to move through, probably into the Gaylord area by 10-ish, something like that. And then should push most of this ice out of northeast lower Michigan by 11 or noon. And so we're not really expecting a huge amount of ice up in that area. Okay, so by 8 o'clock Thursday, 8 p.m. on Wednesday, which is 0Z Thursday, and then by Thursday morning, then the low is moving up over us. We are firmly into rain, and then, but that cold air behind it will start to bleed in as the high moves on, and we should get into some change over to some snow. Friday, then the high just takes over, and there is some chance for a little bit of snow early in the morning, but we are getting to that time of year when the lake is so cold that you really need to have really cold temperatures at about 5,000 feet to really get any lake effect processes going. And our air temperatures at 5,000 feet are not cold enough to drive lake effect now by the end of all this. So that is something we have to watch, because the uncertainty is whether or not we have enough cold air left over with this little trough going through. By Saturday morning, then we might see something. Yeah, there's another low that's trying to get going and move through here on the high. Yep, and then we just get into high pressure. So, Saturday, the way that I left the forecast was it was dry for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll see how that goes. It wouldn't be super warm. Let's see what our forecast is now out at that point. We'll just take a look at Gaylord for those of you who are in the Gaylord area. But you can always go on this and get the forecast out through 7 days. The icons only go out through 5 days. But as we get in through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 42, 40, 42. So we're looking at, it says partly cloudy, partly sunny, mostly cloudy, partly sunny. Yeah, so we'll see. There'll be some sunshine around, and we'll be approaching normal. I think, let's see, our normal high temperatures. Well, let's do this. Come on. Go back to the home page. Climate, local. And I want local data and records. And local Gaylord climate. I want... Nope. Graphs and tables. Here we go. And I want the temperatures. So I want Gaylord in April. Oh, no, March. Get data. Okay, so the yellow is the normal high temperature, and the green is the normal low temperature. And here are our records in the orange. So you can see our record highs. This is that really warm spell we had back 2012. I think we just talked. Oh yeah, it was 10 years ago, because one of the new forecasters that we just hired did that graphic the other day. And then the blue is the record lows. Oh, and then they divide the orange at 0. Okay, whatever. But but you can see our record lows are usually it's still below 0 until we get right at the end of March, March 30th, and then the 31st. Then we start heading upwards. So, but we can be anywhere. Looks like our record high temperatures typically are running in the 50s and 60s. But our normal high temperatures this time of year, let's see, what is today? 27th or 28th right now. Our normal high temperature is about 42 in Gaylord, and it will be close to 45. Yeah, it'll be close to 45 here by March 31st. So, we're going to be at or just a little bit below normal, but our temperatures will continue to increase. You can't keep getting below freezing for that much longer because our normal high temperatures are and normal low temperatures for that matter are continuing to jump up here. So our normal low right now is looks like 23, and it'll be 25 by the end of the month on the 31st. So that's where we are. April, we'll just do a quick one for April at the beginning. So we start out at 45, and we start out at 25, and by the end of the month, we have highs around. Let's see, this is the 30 line, this is the 35 line. Yeah, so we end up right around 35 for our lows, and our highs by the end of April are running close to 54 degrees here in Gaylord. So, the warmer you get, that's the thing. And then look at your extremes. In this case, we've had a couple of times when the temperatures have actually gotten below 0 in early April, but after that, then temperatures the extreme low records start increasing quite a bit, so that we are at looks like 20 degrees, so just a 22 for our record low ish. So yeah, that all that has to come up. There's just the sun does so much as you start getting warmer and warmer, or the sun as you get more and more light, you start getting warmer and warmer. So just wanted to let everyone know. I think that's pretty much what I'm going to finish with. I ran it to about 43 minutes this time, I think. I know there's a counter somewhere on my stuff. But anyway, thanks everybody for paying attention. If you stuck in through here to the end. So have a good evening, and I will see you on another day, maybe tomorrow.